Olivia again, and this time we'll read Midnight on the Moon, Magic Tree House series number 8. We'll read together with this rabbit. Anyway, rabbit is going home and we'll read. Okay, let's go. Midnight on the Moon. Prologue. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister, Annie, climbed into the treehouse. The treehouse was filled with books, and it was magic. It could go any place that was in the book. All Jack and Annie had to do was to point to the picture and wish to go there. They visited dinosaurs, knights, and Egyptian queens, pirates, ninjas, and the Amazon rainforest. Along the way, they discovered that the treehouse belonged to Morgan Le Fay. Morgan was a magical librarian from the time of King Arthur. She traveled through time and space, gathering books for the library. One day, Jack and Annie found a note that said Morgan was under the spell. Jack and Annie set out in the magic tree house to find 4 special things that would free her. With the help of the mouse named Peanut, Jack and Annie found the first thing in old Japan, the second in the Amazon rainforest, and the third in the Ice Age. Now Jack and Annie and Peanuts are ready to find the last thing in Midnight on the Moon. Chapter 1. By Moonlight. Jack, whispered a voice. Jack opened his eyes. He saw a figure in the moonlight. Wake up, get dressed. It was his sister Annie. Jack turned on his lamp. He rubbed his eyes. Annie was standing beside his bed. She wore jeans and sweatshirt. Let's go to the treehouse, she said. What time is it? Said Jack. He put on his glasses. Don't look on your clocks, said Annie. Jack looked at his clocks. Oh man, she said. This is midnight. It's too dark. No, it isn't. The moon makes it bright enough to see, said Annie. Wait till morning, said Jack. No, now, said Annie. We have to find the 4th emptying. I have a feeling that the full moon might help us. That's nuts, said Jack. I want to sleep. You can sleep when we come back home, said Annie. No time will have passed, Jack sighed. Oh, brother, he said. But he got out of bed. Yay, whispered Annie. Meet you at the back door. She tiptoed out of Jack's room. Jack yawned. He put on his jeans and sneakers and a sweatshirt. He put his notebook and pencil in his backpack. Then he crept down the stairs. Annie opened the back door quietly. They stepped outside. Wait, said Jack. We need a flashlight. No, we don't. I told you the moon will light our way, said Annie. And she took off. Jack sighed and followed her. Annie was right. thought Jack. The moon was so bright that he could see his shadow. Everything seemed washed with silver. Soon they left the street. Annie led the way into the Frog Lagoons. It was much darker under the shadows of the trees. Jack looked up, searching for the tree house. There, said Annie. The magic tree house was shining in the moonlight. Annie grabbed the rope ladder and started climbing up. Careful, go slowly, said Jack. He followed her up the ladder and into the tree house. Moonlight streamed through the window. It shone on the letter M that shimmered on the wooden floor. It shone on the tree M things that rested on the M. A moonstone from the time of the ninjas, a mango from the Amazon rainforest, and a moth bone for an ice age. We need just one more M thing, said Annie, to free Morgan for her spell. Squeak! Peanut, said Annie. In the dim light, Jack saw the tiny mouse. He sat on an open book. You didn't expect to see us this late, did you? Said Annie. She picked up peanuts, and Jack picked up the open book. So where are we going to this time? Annie asked him. Jack held the book up the moonlight. Uh-oh, he said. I knew we should have brought the flashlight. I can't read a thing. He could make out diagrams and shadowy pictures, but he couldn't read a word. Look at the cover, said Annie. The letters are bigger than on the cover. Jack squinted at them. It's called Hello Moon, he said. Annie gasped. We're going to the moon? Of course not, said Jack. It's impossible to go to the moon without tons or equipment. Why? There's no air. We couldn't breathe. Not only that, we'd boil to death if it was day and freeze to death if it was night. Yikes, said Annie. So where do you think we're going? Maybe a place where people train to be astronauts, said Jack. That sounds neat, said Annie. Yeah, said Jack. He'd always wanted to meet astronauts and space science. So say the wish, said Annie. Jack opened the book. He pointed to the picture of dome-shaped structure. I wish we could go there, he said. The wind started to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was silent, absolutely silent, as quiet and still as silence could be. Chapter 2. Space Mothel. Jack opened his eyes. He looked out the window. The treehouse had landed in the large white room. What kind of training place is this? Asked Annie. I don't know, said Jack. The room was round. It had no windows. It had white flowers and a carved wall. It's by bright lights. Hello, Annie called. There was no answer. Where are all the astronauts and space science? Jack wondered. There's nobody here, said Annie. How do you know, said Jack. I just feel it, said Annie. We'd better find out where we are, said Jack. He looked at the page in the moon book. He read the words below the picture of the dome. A moon base was built in the moon in the year 2031. The top of the dome slides open to let spacecraft enter and leave. Oh man, Jack whispered. What's wrong? Said Annie. Jack's heart pounded with excitement. He could hardly speak. We've landed inside the moon base, he said. So, said Annie. So the moon base is on the moon, said Jack. Annie's eyes widened. We're on the moon? She asked. Jack nodded. The book says the moon base was built in the year 2031, he said. So this book was written after that, which means the book is from the future. Oh, wow, said Annie. Morgan must have gone forward in time to borrow it from a future library. Right, said Jack. And now we are in the future on the moon. Squeak, squeak. Annie and Jack looked at Peanut. The mouse was running around the circles. Poor Peanut, said Annie. She tried to pick the mouse up, but Peanut hid behind the mango on the letter M. Maybe she's nervous about being in the moon, said Annie. She's not in the only one, said Jack. He let a deep breath. Then he pushed his glasses into place. So what's the moon base? Asked Annie. Jack looked at the book. He read aloud. When scientists visit the moon for short periods, they either sleep in the moon base. A space motel, said Annie. I guess, said Jack. He read more. The small base was a landing chamber and a room for snoring spacesuit. Air and temperature controls make breathing possible. So that's why we can breathe, Jack said. Let's explore, said Annie. We have to find the fourth thing for Morgan. No, first we should study this map, said Jack. He pulled out his notebook. We study it, said Annie. Jack copied the map. Then he drew in the treehouse. Okay, he said. He pointed at the X in his drawing. We're here. Jack looked up. Annie was gone. Oh, brother, Jack said. As usual, she had left without him. Before they could even make a plan, Jack put the moon book and pencil into his pack, carrying his notebook and backpack. He started out the window. Squeak, squeak. Jack looked at the peanut. The mouse was running back and forth on the M. Stay here and be safe, said Jack. We'll be back soon. Jack swung himself over the windowsill. His feet touched the floor of the landing chamber. Annie, he called. There was no answer. Jack looked at his diagram. It showed only the way to go. Jack walked along the carved white walls to the stairs. He climbed the steps to the hallway Jack, hurry! Annie was at the end of the hallway, standing in the airlock. She peered out the window in the giant's door. Jack hurried toward her. Annie stepped it aside so he could look at the window too. "Oh man," said Jack. That result took his breath away. He started at the rocky gray land. The land was filled with the giant craters and the tall mountains. The sun was shining, but the sky was ink black. Stay high in the moon," Annie said softly. Chapter 3. Open Sesame. "The fourth thing must be out there," said Annie. Beside the door was a button with the word "open" on it. Annie reached for the button. "Wait!" Jack grabbed her hand. "There's no air on the moon, remember?" "All right, but we have to go out to find the empty." "Let's see what the book says," said Jack. He pulled the book out of his pack. He flipped it until he found the page that showed the surface to moon. He read aloud. "It takes 14 Earth days to equal 1 day on the moon. No air protects the moon from the sun rays, so daytime heat reaches 216 degrees." Jack looked at Annie. "I told you our blood would boil if we were out there," he said. "Yuck," she said. Jack read from the book again. The moon science were spacesuits, which have controls to keep them from getting too hot or too cold. They have tanks which provide air for 2 hours. "Where do we get spacesuits?" asked Annie. She looked around and then trotted back down the hall. "Maybe there?" Jack was studying his map. "Let's try the spacesuit, Storm." "Don't look at the map," said Annie. "Look at the real rim." Jack glanced up. Annie was peering through the doorway of the hall. "There was a ton of space stuff in here," she said. Jack went to look. Billy White's suit hung from hangers. Air tanks, helmets, gloves, and boots sat in neat rows on shelves. "Wow, it's like an armor room in the castle," said Jack. "Yes, with huge armor," said Annie. "Let's pick out the smallest stuff," said Jack. "The suit can go over our clothes." Annie found the smallest white suit, and Jack found the next smallest. They stepped into them. Then Annie locked Jack's air tank into place. "Thanks," he said. He did the same for her. "Thanks," she said. "Gloves?" said Jack. He and Annie pulled on white gloves. "Boots," said Annie. They each put on the pair of huge white boots. Helmets, said Jack. He reached for the helmets. Wow, they're pretty light, he said. I thought they'd be like knight's helmets. Jack and Annie put the helmets on. They looked at each other into place. I can't move on my head right or left, said Annie. Me either, said Jack. Let's try walking. Jack and Annie moved clumsily around the room. Jack felt like a fat snowman. Close your visitor, said Annie. They both closed their see-through visitors. Cool air filled Jack's helmets. I can breathe, Annie yelled. Her voice boomed in Jack's ears. Wow, talk quietly, Jack said. We have two-way radios inside our helmets. I was sorry, whispered Annie. Jack put the moon book back in his pack. Then he slugged the pack over his shoulder. Okay, he said. Remember, we only have 2 hours of air in our tanks. So we need to find the 4th M thing really fast. I hope we can find it, said Annie. Me too, said Jack. He knew that they could not go home until they did. Let's go, said Annie. She gave Jack a little push. Watch it. No goofing off, he said. We don't want to fall over in those suits. Just go, said Annie. She pushed him out of the room. They walked back to the airlock. Ready, said Annie. Open sesame. She pressed the open button. The door slowly slid closed behind them. The door opened in front of them. And Jack and Annie stepped out onto the moon. Everyone, this is finished today reading, and next time we'll read chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, and goodbye. See you next time.